There is a hugely smart design teaching as to why this design here is so vastly superior to this design. And we're going to learn why soon in this video alongside 3 other hidden thinking teachings as well, all with tutorial examples. But first, we need to look at Apple. And no, I don't mean the fruit. I mean, of course, Apple Inc. And they are one of the clearest examples of the first hidden way of thinking as a truly developed designer. So most people assume that Apple's graphic assets look good because of the photography, the typography, or the ample amounts of white space they are known for. But those are just the final decisions. The interesting part is the thinking that comes before them, which we're going to look at right now. So every design decision here with Apple starts with a question. What helps people understand and desire this product? They're not trying to impress another designer on Behance. They're trying to convince millions and millions of people that this product is worth buying. And let's be honest here, at currently insane prices these days. Either you buy the iPhone 18 or you buy a decent Honda Civic. But anyway, Apple removes anything that competes with your attention for this product. And that's the hidden lesson. You might start by building a layout and then hope it works for your client. But Apple starts with the communication problem first and only adds what's necessary to solve it. But how do you take that onto your designs? I hope you're not feeling too hungry because right here we have a design for a burger advertising poster, perhaps one found on an underground subway or a train station. And so rather than asking, how can I make this look better? I'm going to ask, what is the communication problem here? Just like we did with Apple. So in this case, it's getting people to notice the burger and to quickly understand the offer. Things are just way too crowded and crazy. So the burger becomes larger because it's the hero, it's the thing you want. Unnecessary graphics disappear because they're competing for attention, and the typography is simplified so the message can be understood in a couple of seconds. You should simply understand that none of these changes are about decoration or my personal taste or style. They're all about making the communication clearer. And ironically, that usually makes the design look better in the first place. The second hidden layer of design thinking is this. Every design creates a feeling before it communicates information, fact. So think about it. You're standing on a busy underground platform and that burger poster from earlier catches your eye for perhaps 2 seconds as the train arrives. In that time, you're probably not reading the typography very much or analyzing the offer. Instead, your brain has already decided whether this feels premium, healthy, playful, cheap, or whatever. And of course, with good branding, you'd also notice the brand, but we're not talking about that right now. The emotional judgment happens almost instantly, long before you've consciously processed the information. Great designers understand this, which is why they carefully shape the feelings someone experiences within the first second of looking at design. So depending on research for this burger or fast food brand, we would need to tailor that feeling in different ways. For example, a poster for McDonald's is going to be vastly different in style to that of Gordon Ramsay's burger restaurant, which I actually went to many years ago, and I can confirm it was top notch. But we can take the same burger for our design here, and we can make it appear cheap using layouts, color, and typography choices. Or we can conversely make it feel more expensive and more premium. And this is achieved with the visual language decisions alone. You must consider how typography psychology affects a person, how color schemes and layouts, and even things like solid color or gradients all influence perception. And this is at the very core of graphic design, or shall I say, good graphic design. But just look how quick and how easy it is to take the same design and how to totally change its target audience and approach. And we can even add a more clever and more cool concept to the premium design too, just like that. But to reiterate and to fully achieve this, you must understand the audience and the brand, so you can then apply the correct feeling that will actually resonate with them. It is no good trying to make your design premium if the end users are teenagers or students with little to no money at their disposal. But before a design can create any feeling at all, it has to win something even more valuable, and that is your attention. Because if nobody notices the most important part first, it doesn't really matter how correct the typography or even how carefully you've chosen your palette. And that brings us to the third layer behind good or great graphic design. So great graphic designers create hierarchy before they create or consider beauty as such. And so let's improve this poster again, but this time I'm not thinking about colors or typography or making it look more premium. I'm just going to ask one question. What should somebody notice first? Well, it's the burger, and so that becomes larger, of course. The offer is the second most important thing here, so I'm going to increase the size and the contrast. Everything else is going to get pushed to the background because it supports the message rather than leading it or just confusing it. In fact, one of the easiest ways to create hierarchy isn't making important things look instantly bigger, it's just making unimportant things quieter or just completely disappeared. And once there's a clear path for the eye to follow, the design suddenly feels more organized, more intentional, and, rather conveniently, more beautiful as well. And here's something professional designers think about very early on: viewing distance. This poster is going to be seen from several meters away on an underground platform, not from 30 centimeters away in Photoshop. So before I touch the typography, I want to ask myself what somebody needs to recognize from 10 meters, 5 meters, and finally 1 meter. And that can actually immediately tell you how big the burger, the headline, supporting information, and so on should be. It's all about context. And let's go back to this burger poster one last time. Rather than asking whether you like this version, question every single element if you want to make changes. Why is this text this size? Why is this image positioned the way it is? Why choose this color for the offer? That simple habit of forcing every decision to earn its place, that is often the difference between a design that simply looks good and then one that genuinely does work. And one exercise I'd really encourage you to try is just this. After you finish the design or you think it's finished, pretend you're presenting it to a client and explain every decision out loud. If you struggle to justify something, you've probably just discovered the weakest part of your design. You can thank me later for that one. And this is how good and great designers keep improving day after day, year after year. And if you want to keep doing the same, just click a video on screen to learn yet more graphic design knowledge here at Satori Graphics. But until next time, design your future today. Peace.